Giant Emo Octo. That's what the name of this thing should be called. Yeah, I'm doing this segment in post-commentary. I had the recording for this, and gotta tell you, I'm getting sick of using Audacity, because I used it to record, and it got totally messed up, and there was a high beeping sound, or like a high-pitched buzzing sound, that is. All the while I was having the dialogue, so I was just like, yeah, that's annoying, even to me. And I usually have no problem with sound like that. So I did this fight again a couple of times. I don't learn my lesson, I still bump into the spikes, but I eventually did figure out how to beat this thing. And yet I still didn't do it here. It was just a couple random times when I threw the boomerang at him again, he kept going the way he was going while I was circling up behind him, so that gave me the chance to jump attack him a couple times. I read on the a couple facts and message boards that the best way to do it is to just let him hit you, and then keep going around the other distance. Because he'll turn around once he does that. But I kept saying to myself, yeah, that's fine and dandy for a full hearts run, but you know, what about a 3-heart challenge run? So, like I said, there were a couple of times where I thought he was gonna keep going my way, but he ended up actually going the way I wanted him to, and bam. Never have to see that giant emo Octo again. Yeah, I almost died again this time around. I'm just terrible at that boss, I guess. So, anyways, we progress onwards. Love being able to kill those jellies. Or, I think I do an up-C on them eventually. They're not really called jellyfish. They have a different name. It's like, Bari or something? I don't remember. And I had to cut there because I'm in the process of moving to an entirely different state, and I got a couple calls at that time, and I kind of, from apartment landlords, and I kind of just let the recording keep going. And I don't know what the hell these things are. Giant, square pieces of jello that flail around. And I have a terrible time Z-targeting these things. Well, you can't, target them, but sometimes I would throw it to a different distance, and then it'd just be totally annoying to have to deal with. Anyway, when you go and stand on this thing, you're apparently heavy enough to weigh it all the way down here, and we're right back where we started. But in a good way. That actually opened up the way for us. I think right here... yeah, I cut the wrong box. It's this box that I had to pick up that had a heart in it. And you need them to weigh down this. If you step off it, then it just... The protector comes right back up, so it's a moot point, you could say. And more of these. I don't even remember what they call. I think it was in a scrapped segment where I found out what these things' names really were. And I've noticed that I have a terrible time remembering the names of enemies in Zelda games. I feel like I should, because I play these, a lot, but I always just end up Z-targeting them and killing them, so it's just whatever. Who needs another name? More golden sculptures that I can't get. They throw a lot of you in the first half of the game. I never realized it until now, but there were 4 or 5 in the Dodongo's Cavern, and then one more you could also pick up as a adult. Yeah, this is kind of interesting design, to say the least. Why don't they put that door just right behind you, though? Instead of making you go all the way back down here. It's not too much of an inconvenience, but an inconvenience nonetheless. And now for a boss that, to my surprise, a lot of people actually consider either scary or difficult. Scary I can understand, because, I mean, look at this thing. I don't even know what the thing that jellyfish are surrounding is. Anemone. A giant electric anemone surrounded by electric jellyfish. I guess if you are afraid of jellyfish, it's kind of scary, but otherwise it's... really, I mean, it's kind of cool looking, if I'm honest. Intimidating, you could say. And obviously you have to chop off all of its connectors to the top of the... I think it might be in the stomach at this point. And then when you stun it, jump attack only is the best way to go. It was obviously most damage. And he starts swirling around. It stuns the jellyfish when you throw the boomerang at it. Those are the least of your worries. So I think eventually you have to kill them as well. But for that first part, I just let them be. It's like, whatever. It's true that this boss is tricky to deal with, but yeah, see, when he goes down like that, you have to start targeting the jellyfish. You can usually get a couple, and they whiplash me pretty good a couple times here, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it's a boss. I admit that this certainly does take longer than Queen Goma did, or certainly longer than King Dodongo did. I just realized there was a Queen Goma and King Dodongo, so what is this? It's just a thing. Barinade. It should be like Barinade the Jester or something. And that's really it. Eventually it gets a little more difficult, like it starts shooting out that electricity while you're trying to stun it, which can be annoying, but I don't know. It never seems to me to be much of a challenge, but... And I thought I sucked at the game, but... Some people tell me I'm better at games than most people. I don't know how this is true, personally. There you go, see? And then he gets a lot of welts all over his body, and he explodes, and it's green and gooey and nasty. It's nothing compared to Conker's Bad Fur Day, though. That game is nasty. Sometimes. And then this bitch appears again. Didn't miss you. I'm useless. I'm useless. If I were Link, I'd slap that bitch in the face. Because that's inexcusable. I understand it's a character trait and personality and whatever, and hey, it's daylight all of a sudden. Why is she standing so close to me? She's creepy. I can understand having an attraction to, like, Saria or young Zelda. But this? Just a little, that's always the one thing. And I never understand what would happen if you said nothing really. I always just tell her the spiritual stone. Would she just not give it to you? I don't know. Zora's engagement ring. Great. So now I'm allegedly engaged. At the tender age of, let's assume for the moment, 12. I don't even really know. I thought I saw a documentary on that once about child marriages in India, or those kind of Middle Eastern or Western Asian parts of countries. It's kind of sad, actually. And you're naive again, you don't know what she's talking about. Precious possession. That is not hard to figure out. Yeah, don't tell my father. We're so scandalous. Totally gonna go tell her father right now. Don't know how he'd react. It'd be like, I saw that sometimes they send, or they have autocorrect fails. There was this one text where a guy sent to his father a text and said, "Dad, I have a new girlfriend and she's pregnant. Can't wait to introduce you to her." And he, the dad goes on a massive, tantrum and sends him a very angry text and everything, and he says, Dad, I'm sorry, it autocorrected. I meant to say she's perfect." And he's like, "Oh shit, sorry son, I broke your computer." That would be pretty terrible. But it was funny nonetheless. It's always funny when it doesn't happen to you. Off to the right over there is this, where you learn the Scarecrow song, or rather where you teach the Scarecrow song. I'm just going to speed this walking up here a little bit. So yeah, now that we have all 3 stones, we are totally going to go to the castle and meet up with Zelda again and show her that we have these 3, and everything will be totally uninterrupted, and everything, the condition of the castle will, I'm sure, be entirely perfect and undisrupted. Yep. Totally just going to be another beautiful day, just like it is right now. God, I love backpedaling on a perfectly normal day like this. Nothing could possibly go wrong. No source of evil could ever make this day worse. This is just a perfect day. And that's a P-hat that I'm not going to fight. Must laugh at the name P-hat. It's funny because I'm incredibly immature. But it's not P-E-E-H-A-T, it's P-E-A-H-A-T. So clearly its head is full of purple hull peas, I guess. I say that because I had purple hull peas recently. They're good. They're not that different from regular peas, if I'm honest. You know, outside of color. That's a more obvious distinction, though. Stall children do not care about you, and gee, it's suddenly got a lot darker near the castle. But I'm sure that that means nothing, and that everything is completely okay. Except there's lightning. And the castle's not letting us in. Oh, and it starts raining. But the torches stay lit. That always bugged me. I wonder how they do that. Zelda logic, I suppose. I remember these graphics being awesome at the time. And here comes Princess Zelda to greet us. Or run right by us. And she tries to hit you with her ocarina, but completely misses. Oops! You don't know that's the ocarina. Never mind. Oh my god, a source of evil. Well, this day's completely ruined. Not gonna lie, Ganondorf is one of the most badass villains ever. Little kid? No, I actually am a little kid. He's completely right. Dude, you just watched it gallop off. How would you not have seen which way it went? And I'm exactly where you are, and I saw probably from the same distance, so what makes you think I would know if you don't know? Slowest laughter ever. Heh. 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 He likes our attitude so much that he's going to destroy us. And you lose 3 hearts and you die. The end. Must never stop making jokes about that. No, I don't realize who I'm doing. Yeah, Dipshit, I knew that. We saw you from the beginning of our quest, really. Yeah, don't bother stopping him, Link. Just stare vapidly as he rides off towards his ultimate goal of capturing the princess and dooming all of Hyrule. Real good hero work there. Top notch.